It's 6:15. You're listening to the Weekend Morning Show on CBC Radio 1. We are heading up to Dauphin for this morning's early bird. Jason Gilmore is on the phone. Hi, Jason.
Good morning, Nadia.
How is Dauphin this morning?
Well, brisk, as I'm sure it is in Winnipeg, yes. But no wind right now here, so that helps.
Yes, the wind makes all the difference, as Heather was saying. Jason, tell me about the email you sent me this week in response to an episode of Abandoned Manitoba last weekend.
Yeah, where to start? So once again, just super appreciative for this opportunity, and so have followed Gordon Goldsboro and the Manitoba Historical Society and the Abandoned Manitoba segment that you run. And I was pleasantly surprised on Tuesday listening to the audio file that our community was mentioned and an initiative that we're undertaking right now. So at the end of your conversation with Gordon, you had indicated, provide an update. and I don't know if I should get into what we're actually talking about, but that was the motivation to try and contact you and add more substance to the discussion.
And I'm so happy you're able to join us. So for those who missed the episode last weekend, Gordon Goldsboro was talking about the turntable, which I think is the only rail turntable in Manitoba.
Correct.
Existing, right?
Still existing, correct, yes.
And he was kind of concerned for the future of it, and he kind of did a call out wanting an update from the community about what's happening with that. So tell us what that update.
Yeah, so just to give it a little reference point too, so in Dauphin, a real storied rail history going back 129 years with the arrival of the first train. We're basically the home of Canadian Northern Railway that became Canada's third transcontinental railway. So Dauphin was a very important divisional hub. So in the steam locomotive era, this is the furthest you could go west from Winnipeg before steam locomotives needed maintenance. They're very labor intensive. So Dauphin still has a device called the turntable, which steam locomotives would park on, and that device could turn 360 degrees to then allow steam locomotives to go into the roundhouse, which was a maintenance center for the locomotives. So Dauphin, the turntable and roundhouse date back to 1906, and they both still exist. The building that was the roundhouse is now the City Public Works building, so it is an active work site. We were approached in December by the city indicating that they were wanting to remove the turntable, just with vehicles being a little bit larger now and such. So posed with that problem, we looked for a solution. We had a meeting with the city and indicated that, so if everybody knows how a turntable works, the track portion is kind of in a 12 and 6 position right now. We said, okay, how about rotate it to a 3 and 9 position, fill in the portion of the pit that's closest to the building, but you still keep the turntable in situ, which maintains its value.
And how did they respond to that suggestion?
So their initial response was, wow, we never thought of that. So it was great that we were open to that discussion. So not only us personally indicating and trying to fight to preserve this piece of history, but Gordon Goldsboro came to mind, given how influential he is with both the Historical Society and how media savvy he is. So at that point, I reached out to the Manitoba Historical Society looking for a letter of support. They were kind enough to provide one. And then I went through all of our networks that we have in both history and rail throughout the country. And at that point, have collected 7 letters of support ranging from BC, Alberta, Ontario, Quebec, all indicating the importance of this structure and the need for it to be preserved. So that has been sent to both mayor and council, and we just haven't heard what the plan is. And truth be told, like right now, sometimes no news is good news, I'm feeling, but given this opportunity, and Gordon actually giving the shout out, I'm like, yeah, I need to reach out and just let people know, how important this is and just the whole story of preserving history.
And why is it so important to you personally, Jason? I should mention you are the president of the Dauphin Rail Museum.
Correct. It's a really interesting discussion, like especially given current day events with National Flag Day of Canada being today. It's an ability to understand and appreciate just our cultural heritage, and having something preserved allows us to connect with the past and learn from our history, and I believe really create a sense of place and community, and you, I'm sure, fully understand that, the community that you built just with this show. So building community right now is really important. I think that preserving heritage history is an element of that.
And when did you get attuned to that need or desire to preserve local history?
Oh, I've always been a fan of history, and that goes into my father always being a student of history. And then the rail component, like having grown up in Manitoba, just how significant rail has been to our history, and having extended family members having worked in rail in the past. And then moving, I never grew up in Dauphin. I lived here for 2 years, graduated high school, moved away for 20 years, but would always come back to visit my parents and such. And how blessed Dauphin is to, first off, have this station that I'm sitting in right now.
Are you there right now?
I am.
I thought you were joking when you said you were going to go there.
No, I'm here. Well, I don't know. To me, it brings just comfort, this place. And I don't know. You need to find those things that bring you joy and passion as well. And I've found it here.
I love that.
I had a 20-year history as a practicing chiropractor in the U.S. So sitting here talking to you about this situation like 10, 15 years ago, if you said this would be the case, I'd say, what are you talking about? So it's really interesting how life throws twists and turns.
Oh my God, I have so many questions about your background, but we'll stick to the Dauphin Rail Museum for now. You have an event happening today as well. Tell us about that.
Yeah, just trying to get on board with showing how proud we should be as Canadians. So realizing it's National Flag Day of Canada, so the 60th anniversary of the unveiling of the Maple Leaf, and given that the building itself is both a provincial heritage building and designated as a National Canadian Historic Railway Station, I said, why not do a little celebration? So, yeah, I just had a little initiative of, posing with Canadian flags in front of the building, hashtagging certain hashtags on social media, but then having a little community event where people can come by and just chat from 9 till 1 today.
Oh, that's so sweet. So it's open to anyone in the community. They can stop by is it the museum?
Yeah, the museum, and we can even snap some, because I've got some extra Canadian flags as well. So just to shoot some photos. I know it's a little bit cold, but yeah, we've got that available for anybody that wishes to swing by.
And Jason, tell us about the song that you've chosen this morning.
Oh boy! So just to give a little backstory, that's a really cool thing. Connecting with my dad, I live with him. Unfortunately, he has MS. But he's doing quite well. But I moved back, one of the reasons, just to help him out and have him, maintain his home and such. So one of the cool things that we do is every Saturday morning before coming to the museum, we listen to the music mashup. So it's a great bonding moment. Oh. I'm a huge music fan. Matthew Good, so he's my favorite Canadian artist. I just feel a strange connection with him. He was born in 1971, the same year I was born. Yeah. And he's from Vancouver, and so I lived in the Pacific Northwest for 20 plus years of my life. And so I always feel he's got a certain vibe to his music, and he's very smart, well-read. And just the title of a song, and I believe in researching the meaning of the song, and this was around the involvement of Canada with the Iraq War. And Jean Chrétien saying, no, we're not going. And just the idea of Pledge of Allegiance. So, yeah, given the National Flag Day of Canada, wanted to go with the Canadian artist, and that's what I chose. And a little bit of the vibe, because given the hour, I didn't want anything too rocking out.
You have Bruce's respect, because he's always thinking about that.
Awesome.
Jason, such a pleasure having you on. What's your dad's name?
Robert.
Shout out to Robert as well, and I expect both you and Robert to call into the mashup one Saturday.
Well, we try.
You do? Okay.
So
okay, fingers crossed.
I love that you listen, and thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy your song, and we'd love to have you back on the show. Keep us posted with what happens.
Absolutely, and really appreciate the opportunity to speak on this matter. Thank you so much.
Of course. Enjoy your song. Take care.
Thank you.